Hello everyone. In this video, I will give a brief introduction to Mimics Core and how to get started with the software. To do that, I will cover how to import DICOM images, I will go over the software interface, and I will show how to navigate those images. The first thing I will do is importing raw DICOM images, which I can start by clicking New Project in the top left corner. This will bring up the import wizard where I can select the parent DICOM folder that contains my images and then I hit next. That will bring you to a screen where you get a preview of your images and where you can look at the information in the DICOM headers. Once you select a study that you want to import, you can hit open and load the images into a Mimics project or a .mcs file. That file contains all your images as well as any work that you do in the later steps. You can see here that we have our three planar views of the images. So in the top left is our coronal plane, on the top right is our axial plane, and our bottom left is a sagittal plane. The bottom right is then our 3D window in which any 3D models that we create will appear. On the right hand side of the software is our project manager. This is the hub that collects image data at the top and the different objects in your project below. These objects mainly include masks or segmentation objects and the 3D models you create. You can also find analytical objects or measurements here. Below that, you can also find the properties of any object that you would have selected. The bottom panel you see includes three separate tabs. The first one is the logger, which keeps track of any actions we perform. It will, for example, also keep track anytime you undo something, allowing you to validate if you are undoing the right step. The second tab here is the volume rendering tab, which allows you to set your parameters for volume rendering. The third one is the contrast tab, which we use to adjust the windowing of our images by dragging these points around. Alternatively, you can also hold down right click and drag your mouse left to right to change the brightness of your images, or you could drag up and down to change the contrast window for your images. When segmenting bones, for example, there are some predefined sets for CT scans that you can choose, and the scale will adapt accordingly. At the top of the software, we have our menu bar that gives access to the different functionalities in Mimics Core. You can select a group of tools to focus on a specific part of your workflow you are currently doing. Now that we are a bit familiar with the interface, we can start navigating the images. To navigate to a different slice, we can scroll through the image stack using the scroll wheel on your mouse, or you can also drag the slider on the right to navigate. It is also possible to left-click anywhere on your images, and that will update your crosshairs on the two other planes to that location. If you would like to zoom in and out of the images, you can click on the magnifying glass in the View tab and then drag a rectangle around the region you want to zoom into. To zoom back out, click the Fit to Screen magnifying glass and then back on your plane and it will zoom back out. Alternatively, you can hold down Ctrl and move your mouse while holding down right click. That will zoom in and out in a more interactive manner. To pan or translate your windows, you can select this pan button here and then hold down left click and drag your mouse around. For the shortcut, you can push down the scroll wheel on your mouse and drag your mouse around to pan the images as well. If you'd like to bring any views to full screen, you can put your cursor over it and hit spacebar. That will bring up the plane to full screen. To bring it back to the original state, you can click spacebar again and your view will be reset. This concludes how to get started with Mimics, but don't hesitate to learn more about the software and how to start segmenting with the user guide or some of our other tutorials. Thank you for watching.